tempt. You know what I mean? But who's to say, you know what I mean? What you said written down could be edifying. It's going to exhort. It's going to be what needs to be at this specific time.
No, if it's what the Lord wants to be spoke on.
You're right. Right. If it's the Lord's will, he moves you. But ultimately, hey, we just come out, send the prayers up on the way, you know, and just go. Hit record.
Like, you know, there's a lot of camps. You know, we speak at camp, and then you'll go home and watch some other brothers, and there's a lot of the same precepts. That just
all the time.
The whole camp.
Yep.
But that's the spirit. That's what the Lord wants to be spoke on throughout the whole body.
Yep.
You know?
Beautiful. Right, because blood's flowing. If it's going from the toes, it's going to reach the head. You know, so it's going to be a flowing process.
Right. Not saying the spirit ain't with you or that ain't happening.
Yeah, no.
But, you know,
yeah, no, we know
it's just one body.
Yep.
So it's just the spirit.
Yep.
You know?
Back in 2 Ezra 9 and verse 20, it says, "So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it.
Yep.
And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain.
Yeah, 2/3.
And let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect."
Boom, remodeling. Now we go back to that point. See, with great labor, you know, brothers that may be a mechanic or into, you know, there's words too for like cars, you know, like going to remodeling. You know, there's a whole industry. There's a whole avenue, you know, of fixing cars and detail. They call it detail, like Pimp My Ride. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of work. And a fun fact with Pimp My Ride, you had, cause they show you in the show that, you know, they give the car away and then like the car's fixed, you know, in like the next 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But in actuality, behind the scenes, it takes months. It takes months for them to fix that. Then you had a dude who I think he like sued them. The custom place he worked for to Pimp My Ride. They said they had him working over 60, 70 hours a week. So that's a lot of work to fix a car. So how much more do you elect?
Damn.
How much more do you elect? If they're going through that carnally, guys, the spirit. If they're doing that carnally, how much more physically? You know?
Back in Deuteronomy 4 and verse 4, it says, But ye that did cleave unto the Lord your God are alive, every one of you this day. Verse 5.
This is why they push the black woman as God.
Yep.
Them telling you that the black woman is God is taken away for you as an Israelite man to cleave to your God. Okay? You bowing down to a woman and asking permission to serve her for life as a life partner has now became an idol. And then you sanctify it with the connected serpent, you know, with your seal of Satan, you know? And then if you say, oh, I would never bow to a woman, they'll look at you like you're crazy.
Yep.
Well, that's how they looked at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Like they were crazy. People look at you, oh, they looked at Neil like he was crazy for fighting an agent. Oh, he's tripping, run. They ain't running, man.
Right.
You know?
Back in Deuteronomy 4 and 5, and it says,
face the problems. What's that saying? Face the music?
Yeah, yep.
We're here facing the music, and the music is the Lord's song. And the word music goes back to the key word muse, which means to think. So we're thinking now. You know, how many times you brothers heard it as a child? I did. Wow, what were you thinking? Well, I wasn't. But I'm thinking now.
All the time.
I'm thinking now. You know, my man, what he's saying Friday, you making me think a lot. Jake can't handle that shit. Bro, you making me think a lot. You know, I remember the Northern Jake, they were telling me he was getting offended because he had to keep speaking Spanish to those two Northern Jakes when he's still learning English. So he's like, man, this shit give me a headache, man. You making me think a lot. And por qué? Like they're not being put on a level to think how we think or handle what we think. That's why it says, well, much knowledge is much grief. Cause this shit raw, man. You know? That's what I was alluding to earlier. So you gotta learn how to train your mind in this thing, man. You know? When to put on and when to put off.
Deuteronomy 4 and 5, it says,
you can't tell everybody the shit you know.
Hell no.
You know?
Hell no, bro.
You can't tell everybody the shit you know, but there's times where you might slip, so then you look and use that example like, damn, I was tripping. Why the hell did I say that? You know what I mean? It says, there's a scripture where it speaks about it's got to be savored with salt.
Yeah.
When you say it, make sure it's, the right time, basically.
Deuteronomy 4 and 5.
And you can feel it too. You'll feel when you know you need to speak or when you're not. And there'll be times the Spirit will tell me, don't say nothing, man. Don't be saying nothing. You know?
Deuteronomy 4 and 5, it says, Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my God commanded me, that ye should do so in the land, whether ye go to possess it. Verse 6, here's the point you wanted. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations.
Right. See, so with Esau taking that spirit from you as a Hebrew Israelite man, now you don't have that spirit to be this wise judge amongst the nations. You know, the mommy speaks for you. Your girlfriend speaks for you. You know, all these people speak for you, but you can't speak for yourself. And then what you do speak is mumble rap. This is all agendas and attacks that Esau has done to single-handedly stop us from being judges. Hey, but we coming back in that spirit, you know? And it had to happen spiritually. That's why it says a spiritual man judges all things. So now we're in the spirit to judge. I'll judge all the time. You have a what? Judgment of character. You have a judge of taste, right? Don't they have cooking contests? That nigga, he ain't judging your food.
Taste test.
Everybody get to judge, but we can't judge.
Right.
You know, we all rise. We gotta listen to this nigga in a Harry Potter cloak. But he went to school, he gets to judge, but I can't have a spirit to judge. That's the problem. You have a whole book called Judges, where they were what? Judging a matter. You cannot advance as a society or as a community or as a unit if you don't establish order. If you don't establish an order, okay, or laws or statutes or judgment when those things are broken. This is why the black community is going nowhere fast, because all you talk about is rights. But why ain't you talking about the repercussions of wrongs? You know? Well, we need a right to do this. We need a right to do that. Well, what if you have a right? The balance of that would be a wrong. So what do you do if something is wrong within that community? See, what Esau has done with the oppression that he's done to us as a nation, it's been so dignified as heinous that now there's a spirit where black people can't establish their own, society of judgment.
Yep.
You know, we got to go to him for one of all things. So you go to him for rights. So you go to him for wrongs, because there ain't no spirit amongst Jake to be in that, unless it's a black woman. I was watching, I watch certain shit. I was watching Survivor, and this season they broke it up into races. And guess what they did? They had whites, who they call Caucasians, Asians, and then they had Hispanics, and then they had African Americans. And the black woman came on and said, "We got to represent for the black community." Bitch, he just called you African American, but now you're black. And you know what they did? The producers, it was a five people. They put 3 black women and 2 black men. And you know what? The first fucking episode, the black woman banded together and got rid of the black man.
Oh my goodness.
And then when they merged the teams together, guess what the black woman did? "Okay, Esau, I'll get fired." But when it was with Jake, nah, niggas ain't doing nothing. Come on, girls, we got to band together. That's it right there. So that shows you that he not only separated you as a nation, he separated you based off your gender. Even, can you get that 1 Corinthians 11? Oh, you had some, bro? We'll hold it. 1 Corinthians 11, the order.
Gotcha.
You gotta. That's another thing that's got to be addressed too, with the black community. Or what they call, what most devs say, the black delegation.
Yep.
The black delegation. Well, the black needs to delegate the wickedness of your woman. You don't go into an Arab house and that woman's over the man.
Yep.
Vietnamese, Korean, Philippines, Cantonese, Hawaiian,
Hamite.
Shit, even in the Esau, now he's a cuck by nature, but the woman, she puts her man, even if she cheat on him, she'll put him on a certain level though, she'll put him on a certain level, meaning she'll want to stay with him, but when it comes to the Jake woman, hey bro, they in that hit it, quit it spirit, real quick for the order.
This is 1 Corinthians 11 and verse 1.
Then they don't even teach their children. It tells you in Titus, there's a specific law where the older woman is supposed to teach the younger Jake woman how to be a woman for their man. But they tell you to be a woman for your job, be a woman for college, be a woman for multiple men. Follow your heart. But your heart has been bewitched since you were growing up to be It was a Disney mermaid. It says all good girls get naked.
Ariel.
Yeah, it was a subliminal message. Then the mother, follow your heart. Well, it says the heart's deceitful above all things. The only thing she gonna follow is what he been giving her.
Damn.
So if he teaches you that it's wrong for a woman to be corrected, then you're gonna do wicked and think that they're in the wrong for correcting your wrong ass.
Damn.
1 Corinthians 11 and verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I'm also of Mashiach YAHAWASHI.
You got no problem following a line to get in the club. You got no problem following some weirdo on social media, you know? You got no problem of following a single line when Esau locked your ass down. But Jake has a problem to follow in the spirit, okay? Because all these Jakes are nothing but followers. Hey, we're followers too, but what are you following, okay? But see, even the word following has been demonized, you know? You can follow in the right direction, you see? But we're not blindly following. That's another thing too. You're blindly following shit. And I'll watch chain reactions. Watch those multitudes of evil, man. You'll watch one woman watch another woman do something wicked and she'll be like, and then she'll start doing it. You see? So our people are childlike, man. That's why I call them the children of Israel. But it's time to put away child things. It's time to put away childish things, and it's time to stop being tossed and fro as a child, tossed and fro, you know, carried about with every wind of doctrine.
It says, now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I delivered them to you. But I will have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach YAHAWASHI.
Why is Paul reiterating what was established in Genesis 3? Why is Paul reiterating what we should already know? You see? This is why you have to be born again. This is why you have to be retaught. Because this place has put you in a filthy, polluted mindset. This is why you learn now it's not your rest. Because you're completely polluted. It was told to Eve that she's supposed to, what did it say?
Thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep.
It says, but I will have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach YAHAWASHI, and the head of the woman is the man.
Now, could you imagine a society where your woman, our women, had a mindset to know, hey, that's a man of my God, and I can't even go to my God without going to my Lord first. Do you know what that would change? Hey, you brothers gotta think too. You know how much stress. That's why it says a woman that is it's in Sirach, but a woman that's well instructed, a mind of well instruction. You know, it's a gift.
Yep.
That's why it's a gift. It don't mean that because she you know, her body and she just do whatever you want. No, man. There's a lot that comes into play when you have a significant other that listens to you, respect you. That's one thing you got to understand here. We don't have respect. But hey, the Lord don't have respect here. We don't have respect here in Babylon. We're not respected by our children, by society, all right, by our own nation of people. You got Jakes that live a disrespectful life getting more respect from Jake. You found it?
Yep. Sirach 26 and 14. A silent and loving woman is a gift of Yahweh B'Shem YAHAWASHI.
Yeah, see, a silent and loving woman. Because you can have a Jake woman be silent because she wants your ass to go to sleep to throw grease on you.
Oof.
You know what I mean?
Hot grease, man.
That's the shit when I was growing up that I heard.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Splitting Jake with razor box cutters and shit. That's what the women be doing, man. Coming in this truth, this fucking black woman tried to stab me, man. Evil. You know? And it was the Lord that, you know, I wasn't even doing nothing. I just happened to be around them. You know what I mean? And she got drunk. But that's what these black women do. That's what this is with culture. We're talking about your culture. Black community. You know?
It's evil.
It's
Black.
evil.
Dirty.
No progression.
It says, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed.
Right. And you know what? That gives you peace. Hey, you know how peaceful it is to give a order, said something, and they just do it?
Right.
You know? That's what up here in the brotherhood. And if it's not, we address it. Hey, you got to listen. Because we already got to deal with women that don't listen. Man, just listen. I'll be there in a minute. You see how stressful this place is you already got to deal with? You got to understand that the only way that we can get out of this is through the Spirit, is up. It's through deliverance. because this place was set up to be polluted. These are the characteristics that this place has. We can finish that and we'll go back to our initial points.
Back in Corinthians 11 and verse 3, but I will have you know that the head of every man is the Mashiach YAHAWASHI, and the head of the woman is the man.
Oh, you know what the bigger problem is too? When you do address something, the shortcomings, all right, of a woman here, it's a old, overweight black woman that immediately says, well, but when the man, they got a spirit on them where you never hear men be like, well, when the woman do this,
Right.
you know?
Yep.
But there's a spirit on women to hate the Israelite men, you know? And let's talk about rights. You want rights? Well, what rights? Because men equally don't have rights, okay? Black, Hispanic, Native Americans don't have rights as Esau here. So when you say you want rights as a man, you need to be more specific. But when you do that, it breaks open a whole nother can of worms.
Right.
You see? Oh, so now we got other things to talk about, you know?
Yeah, these women have so-called penis envy.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. I remember my last job, this little ass chick, she's grabbing all this shit. And I used to fucking toy with her, man. Like, hey, do you need help? I knew that she was gonna say no. I got it. Fucking looking crazy. That's something with you. Remember I told you one time I seen this chick, she worked for Amazon.
Right.
Bitch was through. She was through. Coming in, all destitute, and she was trying to brag while buying like a beer. You drinking beer? She was drinking beer, talking about, I delivered the most boxes as a woman in my sector. Like as if, see though, like you have this envy of this mythological competition that we ain't trying to keep with you.
Right.
Ain't nobody trying to match wits with you. Ain't nobody telling you to arm. Your ass is doing that.
We've been doing this.
Right. We've been at work.
We ain't know this.
Yeah. And you ain't true to this either. You
Right.
damn liar.
Back in Corinthians 11 and verse 4, every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonored his head.
Jake don't even know their head, man. You know? But that was the point.
Okay.
We can get back into where we were. That was it on Deuteronomy.
It's a little more.
Okay.
Back in
Maybe you got
Deuteronomy,
something.
4 and 6.
You
it
can
says,
feel the spirit's changing. Now we had to get that initial point out. Now the spirit's gonna change for more. You know?
It says, keep them before and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding
There
in
you
the
go.
sight of the nations.
See? So we are supposed to carry and conduct ourselves on a certain level so that in the sight of the nations, they see this. Hey, we don't carry ourselves as what you would call a nigga. So don't call me a nigga.
Right.
You know, we don't carry ourselves disrespectful, so don't disrespect me. That's what my man said. He said to these Edomites. But we understand why it happens, but that don't mean that we should fall into that spirit of, all right, just, you know, go ahead, just disrespect me. Nah, man, because this is all the trying of our faith, okay? This is becoming holy. These are the characteristics that we're putting on, okay, in these last days, all right? Was that it on that?
It's a little more.
Okay.
And it says, we shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people.
Yep. And that's the time that we're coming into. And how is that going to be proved? Isaiah 33 and 6. How are these nations going to say these are a wise and understanding people?
Yep.
How is that going to happen? How is flocks of Israelite women gonna come to you? Because when the judgment comes, we're gonna be watch, read it.
All right. This is Isaiah 33 and verse 6. It says, in wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
And with having the wisdom and knowledge, that will be seen in the midst of nations. That will be seen in the midst of our people. And then they're gonna have a spirit. Yo, I need to listen now. Now I need to listen. You know? Hey, the Lord is building our mind up on a high level, man. We're in a time where the Lord is turning up our understanding. Okay, He's turning up, all right, our spirit. He's turning up our discipline. Okay, He's turning up our eye being single. Okay, He's turning things up because it's about to turn up out here.
We're in a year to turn up.
Exactly.
And it goes on to say, and strength of salvation,
Yep.
the fear of the Lord is his treasure.
Yep. There you go. So wisdom and knowledge of what we're got now and gaining and learning and continuing to study is going to give us the stability. But that same wisdom and knowledge was also referred to for the nations to see, to say that, oh, this is a wise and understanding people. So people are going to see us and say, yo, these follow him.
Right.
This is why in Book of Eli, the old girl's mother told her to go with him.
I believe her name was Theo or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember her name. It's like on the tip of my tongue. But remember, she said, my mother told me to follow you. See? That means her mother had some sense.
Right.
We in a time where you need to have some sense and not just worrying about dollars. You know? Let that sink in. You got something?
Oh, now you want that the Thessalonians, right?
Yeah, start at 3. Yep.
All right. This is 2 Thessalonians 3, and start from the top.
Yeah.
In verse 1, it says, finally, brethren, pray for us that the word of the Lord, oh yes, full circle, that the word of the Lord may have free course.
See? So this is why the Spirit put on the brother Marar, you know, because we was sighing. We like, yo, man, we was on the way walking to camp. You know, you got homeless Jake, which we, you know, this place, but it's not only homeless, you got feces and needles and bottles and smell of, excrements, as they call it. Disgusting. You know? And we like, yo, it's not feeling good to stand right here. So the Spirit kind of had us looking around. We went to one of the spots, like, nah, it's too loud. And we went over here, like, nah, this ain't working either. And the Spirit was like, yo, we'll go over King Street. There's a spot over on King Street. So we went over here, and so we can have what? Free course, you know? Well, so we can have free course to what? To teach. That's what it's all about, just to teach. How many times did YAHAWASHI leave the multitude, you know, and speak in secret?
Right.
That's what you got to understand, man. Okay? Going back, this thing isn't about us having matching garments and alluring you. Okay? We're not here to allure you. We're here to water and plant. Can we get that? Is that 1 Corinthians 4:9? You know, that's been on my spirit too. Understanding that, hey, we're not doing nothing but working out our own salvation. And by doing that, working out our own salvation, all right, it's teaching about salvation and edifying. It's not about forcing someone to be an Israelite. You know, no one forced us to be an Israelite. No one forced us to get up out of bed. No one forced us to, man, put this fucking garment on, you know? But you got other camps that call you every Monday, you know, checking on you, doing pleasing work to you to keep you in a mega church spirit, you know, with a megaphone. You happen to find it?
I got it.
You got it?
Yep.
First 3.
Yep. It's just
There, yep.
1 Corinthians 3 and verse 6. I'll start at 6.
Yep.
It says, I have planted, Apollos watered.
I'll start at 2.
Start 2, yep. 1 Corinthians 3 and verse 2. I'll start at 1. Got to. Start at 1. 1 Corinthians 3 and 1. And our brethren cannot speak unto you as unto spiritual, but as unto carnal, even as unto babes in YAHAWASHI.
Yeah, there's times where you're gonna have to speak to a brother, you know, more plainly, you know, or you with other brothers, you know, you'll speak more in parable, you know. Hey, I'll say me and Marar, we speak very parabolic to each other. There's a lot of insiders that we say, but we be knowing.
Right.
You know, we be knowing, you know. So, but then other brothers, you might just speak more plain. Some brothers are older; they may get certain things that you'll get because of their age and, you know, or the spirit. It's not taking away, but it's showing you with Paul, he couldn't just always give you the full measure. You know, that's why it's referred to as being weighty. You know, so certain lessons may be what they say, too rich for my blood.
Yep.
Like, you know what I mean? So it's all about learning your measure.
It's about the milk and the meat.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
just coming in, you need to desire that milk.
Yep.
Actually, let me get it.
Yeah, good, beautiful. And you have babies in that spirit, you know, where baby, you ever see a baby trying to get that nipple going crazy, and then they latch on. Well, that's why it says being as newborn babes. It's speaking metaphorically. You've seen a baby get on the titty, you know, and then it comes a point where you got to get off that titty, and that's why Major Payne, he said, pop that titty out his mouth.
Right.
And that's the time what? To be a man. You see? That's what it's all about.
I got that real quick.
Yeah.
This is 1 Peter 2, and I'll start from the top. It says, wherefore laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speakings, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word.
It said desire.
That ye may grow thereby. And so, if so be ye have tasted that YAHAWASHI is gracious.
Beautiful. Desiring. It said, read it again.
It says, from 2?
Yeah, with your point.
Okay, it says, as newborn babes.
Oh, see, you gotta be, that's why YAHAWASHI said, you see him, You see that this is the greatest because a child has a spirit to believe, to listen, to learn. When I was younger, I didn't question the tooth fairy, you know. I didn't question Santa Claus. I didn't even have a chimney, you know. Most Jakes don't, but we believe, you know. I got all these mean Edomites, but for some reason there's this one. Well, there's two. There's Jesus. Well, there's three. There's Jesus, God, and Santa. Those three white guys I can trust. You know what I mean? And I didn't question it. You know, so you got to see as a baby, you know, a baby listens. That's why I tell you to listen. You listen. You know, I tell you eat and this and all that. You got a baby will be mad, but he'll go to bed. It's Patrick, but I don't want to go. But your ass got to. So that's why YAHAWASHI, like, yo, as this bed. That's why coming in, you need to be a baby. You need to be molded. You need to accept a servitude as a spiritual son to your spiritual fathers. And you have a lot of rebellious sons, you know, that don't want to do that. This is why you have other guys today. They feel that they don't need a father no more. You know, I could do it on my own. You know, well, you saw what that guy Eve, what is that? I could do bad all by myself. The bitch says she want to do bad by herself. That's the craziest part. All right. Was that it on that? Oh, you was going to get when YAHAWASHI said that? Okay, if you want to get it after.
It says, if so be ye have tasted that the Lord, YAHAWASHI, is gracious.
There you go. So you got to taste the grace. You got to taste the grace. And you know what? It's a beautiful thing to be built up in the spirit and then to be in that mindset of, I'm ready to walk. I'm ready to be a man. I've been taught. I'm learning. You know, I'm listening to exhortation and correction. Hey, let's do it. You know, you found it?
Yep.
Yeah, you want to read it real quick and then we'll jump back.
This is Matthew 19 and verse 13. Then were they brought unto him little children, that he should put his hands on them and pray, and the disciples rebuked them.
And that reminds me of the book. That's why it says the state wants to raise the children. Because they know, what my man say in Unleashed? He said, get them while they're young and the opportunities are endless. He got Jet Li as a child and turned that nigga into a Spanish pit bull, man. You know? He turned that nigga into a
killing machine.
A killing machine. Get him. Get him, Danny. Remember this thing? He was just, you know? You got to get him while they're young.
It says, train up a child in the way you should go, and he shall not depart when he is old.
Exactly.
You know?
See?
It says, but YAHAWASHI says, suffer the little children and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of heaven. And he laid his hands on them and departed thence.
There you go. See? So you got to be a child in this thing, man. And a child that's unruly, he gets punished, grounded, and he gets his ass whooped, put in a corner. Hey, this is why the Bible speaks metaphorically. So don't lose sight of the metaphors when it comes to a lane you have to walk in. Okay? It doesn't mean that a brother's got to do the airplane to feed you, but you have some damn sense. Don't be simple with these metaphors. You know?
One more.
Yep.
Matthew 18 and 1. At that time came the disciples unto YAHAWASHI, saying,
oh, well, look we're talking about listening. We just talking about how our women don't listen. So you got women out here don't listen. Hey, we listen here in the spirit. You know? We have to, but we want to. We see the benefit of it. You know? We're not in a self-willed, you know, I can do it myself spirit. You know?
Right. It says, who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And YAHAWASHI called a little child unto him and set him in the midst of them and said, verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven.
Right. You're gonna have to listen. You're gonna have to trust me. You're gonna have to be spiritually born again. That's why he told Nicodemus. And he said, what? You go back and no, man. You gotta be born again. You gotta be born again mentally. Okay? That's what this is all about. Learning servitude. We've learned how to serve Esau. Jay got no problem talking about slavery. What about righteous slavery? We have laws for Hebrew slaves. Hey, you in a church, you're bound to that. You're subjugated to that. Just like when you go to work. Can you leave when you want?
Nope. You want to, but you can't.
Right. So don't have that mindset in this. And this is unspeakable words compared to a vain ass job. I'll tell you like this: incorruptible, corruptible. Who are you going harder for? Something that's going to crumble away, or something that can't crumble? You know.
I'm just going to read the ledger. It says, dealing with verses Matthew 18, 1 through 4. These verses are commonly said to promote childlike innocence or naive, but YAHAWASHI's statement actually urged disciples to adapt childlike humility.
Childlike humility. That's fire.
See? damn. Meaning, hey, as an adult, you watching like, man, look at how he just believed. Look how he listening. Oh, wow, you got him. And you know what? Some of the most